Live from Kelsey Moore Gym on homecoming night. 2 victories have already been decided, while 2 more are up for grabs. Tonight, your Morgantown Christian Academy Lady Mustangs will play the Lewisburg Baptist Lions. Newly crowned Miss MCA Savannah Fout will face off against Emily Comer in what should be a highly contested game. I'm Christian Jacqueline, and beside me is my colleague, former MCA point guard Luke Wiggs. It's the Mustangs and the Lions, and it's up next on the Mustang Sports Network. The last time these 2 teams faced off in Lewisburg, the Lions won the game by a score of 52-50. What can the Lady Mustangs coach Mitchell Bland and his group of girls improve upon to come up on top of this game?
Well, that last matchup means everything for the 2 of these teams, Christian. These are 2 teams that potentially could square off in the state tournament, just like we did against this Lewisburg Baptist team, I should say, a season ago. So everything in this aspect points to the Mustangs' favor. You're high off of an adrenaline of having your homecoming festivities. You're on your home floor, and you've had a game to see what Lewisburg does successfully to allow them to maximize their offensive ability. The Mustangs know what they need to do, but finally they need to go out onto the floor and execute.
Again, I want to say congratulations to Mr. and Miss MCA, Jacob Ellis and Savannah Fout. Congratulations to them on homecoming. And we have 30 seconds left until we have the starting lineups here in Morgantown.
Yeah, that was a fantastic job on the homecoming festivities. I believe that's the first time they're trying that out here at Morgantown Christian Academy. I wrote down the names a little briefly. The homecoming court that was announced for both teams. For all the grades: Harrison Linkus and Macy Snyder for the freshmen, Noah Stockett, Carol Wolf for the sophomore, Bethany Wolf, Brendan Jecklin for the juniors, the senior classes, Jacob Ellis, Ethan Phillips, David Kelly, Megan Beckner, Sierra Lucas, and Savannah Fout, and of course, Mr. MCA being Jacob Ellis and Miss MCA being Savannah Fout. We're going to pause for a few moments here. We're going to have the starting lineups from David Jecklin courtside, and then we'll have a word of prayer.
Lord, just thank you for this evening, for the students gathered to pray. We bless you tonight. Just pray that you go with Christianity to off. Just pray that the officials will clear God, just pray that you start pray for all of it in Jesus' name.
A prayer there by Mr. Beckner. Now for the starting lineups to be announced by David Jecklin.
Now we'll have the starting lineup. First, the leading audience, the Lewisburg Baptist Academy. Number 1, Addis Nicholas. Number 2, Leah Comer. Number 3, Emily Comer. Number 5, Kendra Hunter. And number 32, Ava Parker.
Well, there you have it. There's the starting lineups. And next on the docket will be our matchup.
Be curious to see what the Mustangs do here defensively against this Lewis Baptist team. One thing we've always seen from head coach Mitchell Bland is his ability to shake up the style of pressure that he'll dial up for this team. So he'll go full court, he'll go kind of a half-court trap, he'll go just straight man. Occasionally he'll break into a zone, although he reluctantly will do so. Let's see what the Mustangs come out here early on against this Lewisburg Baptist team.
And as we line up for the jump here, we will have Kara Wolf and Madison Bruce jumping to the ball. Here's a tip, and Bruce collects it for the Lions. Bruce will dribble the ball down the floor, gives the ball to number 32, Bradley. The ball is swung to the right to number 5, Kendra Homaker. And there's a blocking foul right there on number 31, Jenna Phillips. That will be her first and the first foul of the game. Here, 40 seconds in. It'll be number 32, Ava Barclay, inbounding the ball, and she will get it to number 2, Leah Comer. She will dribble the ball up top and get the ball to her sister, Emily. The ball goes into post to number 3. And that will count. That is an and one. That's up by Kendra Honaker. No, my bad. Emily Comer. And she will toe the line. As that is foul number 2 on Jenna Phillips, who has just picked up her second in the first minute of this ballgame. And that free throw is up, and it is good. Mark it for Emily Comer. Candace Bennett will inbound the ball for the Lady Mustangs. She gets it into Megan Beckner, who dribbles the ball to the corner and turn it over. And the finish still by Madison Bruce. And the score is now 5-0 Lions. Again, Bennett inbounds the ball to Beckner. She dribbles the ball to the same corner. She'll pick up the dribble, get the ball to Candace Bennett. It is off her fingertips, but she will recover it in the other corner. And Coach Mitchell Bland will take his first time out of the game. We score 5-0 Lions with 6:43 left in the first quarter.
I gotta love the utilization of Mitchell Bland. We've seen Mitchell Bland call timeouts as early as like 15 seconds into games. He doesn't see what he's like. He doesn't like what he sees, I should say, offensively for this team and defensively. He calls a timeout early on before things can get out of hand. Get this Mustangs team to where they need to be on both ends of the floor.
Well, it looks like to me the key is going to be to get the ball in the middle against this press and not in the corners.
Yeah, there's a lot of
good will ever happen in the corners.
A lot of athletes on this Lewisburg team we're seeing early. They're using their guard play to kind of disrupt this Mustangs offense. Let's see what the Mustangs' answer for that will be.
And they will turn the ball over again, but number 5, Kendra Honaker, will dribble it off her foot and out of bounds. The ball going back to the Lady Mustangs. It'll be Bennett to inbound. She gets it into Beckner, who will center the ball and look to run the offense. He gets the ball into Jenna Phillips, who lays it up and no good. The rebound by Kara Wolf, who puts it back up off the front of the rim. Gets her own rebound, gets it again, and lays it up and in. The score now 5-2, Lions lead. And there's the ball to number 2, Leah Comer. She's guarded by Kaylee White of the Mustangs. She gets the ball to number 5, Honaker, who gets it back to Comer, who gives it to Leah Comer, who will lay it up and no good. It rolls off the front of the rim. The rebound by Emily Comer. And they will call a jump ball. Possession arrow going to the Lady Mustangs. And here's Candace Bennett scanning the floor, looking for Megan Beckner, but she will get the ball in to Kara Wolf. She takes a power dribble and gets it to Megan Beckner, who will take it down the sideline and out of bounds. Another turnover here for Megan Beckner early.
And here you see one of the problems offensively for this Mustang team. Megan Beckner, really the dominant ball handler on this team. You key in on her, they really don't have a second option.
And the problem is they're not getting the ball in the middle of the floor, and they're forcing her to the sideline, which she's gladly taking right now. And here we see Barclay getting the ball to Comer. Takes a pump fake, gets to the lane. It is up and good with the right hand. 7-2, Lions lead. Here's Bennett looking for Beckner. We'll get it into White. White takes 2 dribbles, takes the ball up, gets the ball to Beckner. We'll try to center the ball. She does, and gets the ball back to White. That pass goes into Kara Wolf, who is open. After taking a stutter step for 2 or 3, will miss the shot. The rebound to Comer, who will dribble down the floor. Looking for number 1, who airballs at 3. And Comer cannot track. She can track the rebound down those days. She was not out of bounds. and will get it in safely to Leah Comer. Here's number 5, Kendra Honaker, gets it back to Comer as Kaylee White is guarding. The ball goes inside to Comer, who is fouled on the layup attempt. That'll be 2 chances to the line now, and foul number 3 on Jenna Phillips. No, my bad. That foul will be on Candace Bennett. That will be her first of the ball game, and 3rd team foul for the Lady Mustangs. Here's Comer at the line. Her free throw is up, and it is good. It is now 8-2 Lions, and Brooklyn Bland will check in for Jenna Phillips for the Lady Mustangs. Comer with the ball. The free throw is up, and it is also good. No scratch that. The referee will call a lane violation against the Lions. The score is still 8-2. Bennett inbounds the ball to Beckner. Takes 2 dribbles, picks the ball up, and gets the ball in for Tara Wolf, who is then fouled. That foul will be on number 1, Madison Bruce. That is her first foul of this ball game. Bennett gets the ball into White, who will hold the ball and get the ball to Brooklyn Bland, who will take this long 2, and it is good. The score now 8-4. The Lions lead as Comer brings the ball down the floor for the Lions. Comer is guarded by Kaylee White. She gets the ball to Honaker. She gets the ball back to Comer. She gets the ball into Leah Comer, and that shot is up and no good by Emily. The rebound is made by Tara Wolf. She gets the ball to Candace Bennett. She gets it to Megan Beckner, who is driving the lane, and the referee will call a travel, marking another turnover on Megan Beckner.
I like what this team is doing defensively against Emily Comer. Has been the kind of the offensive catalyst for Lewisburg Baptist early. They know she's going to get to the rim, but if you can bother her enough while she gets off that shot, it's a really tough finish for her to make.
Here's Emily Comer driving with her left hand. She gets in the paint and passes it back out to Honaker. She'll put the ball in her right hand and get the ball to Comer. That ball goes to Emily Comer as she will dribble the ball, waiting for someone to move towards her. She gets the ball back to Leah Comer. As there's now someone in the corner. She'll put the ball on the floor, stop in the paint, get the ball out to Honaker, and that ball is tipped by Tara Wolf. They will call kick ball there against Candace Bennett, and the Lions will inbound. No, they will say that it is a kick ball on Honaker rather, and the Lady Mustangs will get the ball. Bennett gets the ball into Megan in the corner, gets the ball to Tara Wolf, and Brooklyn Bland will set up the offense for the Lady Mustangs. Here's Candace Bennett dribbling in with her right hand, and she will turn the ball over. Honaker with the steal, and Comer will dribble the ball down. Kaylee White, the only one to stop her, as she is, they will call a jump ball, and the position area will stay with the Lions. Here's Barclay with the inbound. Scanning the floor, looking, she finds Comer, who lays it up and in with the right hand over top of Bennett. The score is 10-4 Lions. Beckner with the ball, passing it down the floor, but too high for Brooklyn Bland. That will be turnover number 4 for Megan Beckner. And into this ball game is Autumn Barker, coming in for senior guard Candace Bennett. Here's Barclay with the inbound. That ball will go to Leah Comer. Kaylee White, per usual, will be up top guarding her here. And she will get the ball to number 32, Barclay rather. A spin move by number 2, Leah Comer, who lays it up and in and good for the Lions. And Mitchell Bland will take a timeout here, his second of the ball game. She scored 12-4. The Lions lead with 2:48 left in the quarter.
And there's a little bit of a pattern emerging with this Lewisburg Baptist team. I keep calling them a Lewis Baptist. It's a little bit easier to say. However, their offense being run through Emily Comer, that's been obvious, but this team really almost kind of mirroring the Mustangs. They really don't have a secondary playmaker in and of themselves. It's going to be interesting to see because they use their length, their athleticism defensively to create these turnovers. Offensively, they've been like a fish out of water. When this team can't score in transition and Comer's shut down, this team has a difficulty scoring at all. So it's going to be interesting to see the Mustangs, when they turn the ball over, whatever they need to do to limit what Lewisburg can do in their half-court sets and maybe have some success defensively.
The ball will go to the Lady Mustangs. Brooklyn Bland will be the inbounder for MCA. She slaps the ball and gets the ball into Megan Beckner. She'll dribble the ball down the right sideline, and we'll get the ball back to Brooklyn Bland, who then passes it ahead to Kaylee White. Puts the ball in her left hand, driving all the way to the bucket, and lays it up and in. Brooklyn White. A very productive drive for the Mustangs. And the score is now 12-6 as they are inching back in this ballgame. Barclay will take the ball up, Bland guarding her. Gets the ball to number 13, Madison Rowlandson. And there's Comer with the rebound, and she will put it back up in. Beckner gets the ball to White. She'll pick the ball up and get it back to Beckner. She will set up the offense. She finds an open Kara Wolf, but the ball is turned over because she threw a chest pass and a bounce pass. And that is a wild pass from Comer, but saved by Barclay, but picked up by Beckner. She'll take the ball down the floor with the right hand, getting all the way to the bucket. She is stripped, and a foul will be called on number 3, Emily Comer. That is her first foul, team second. They will call the foul on the floor, so Bland will inbound the ball for the Lady Mustangs. Ball goes into Beckner. Backing down, number 3, Comer. White will take a shot, and it is up and good from the foul line. It's 4 points now for White, and the score is now 14-8. Lions lead. Barclay dribbles the ball down the floor, finds an open Bruce, who lays it up and in for the Lions as they answer right back with a field goal of their own. Here's Beckner. She'll again take the ball down the sideline, and she will just throw it right out of bounds. Luke, Megan's looking a little rattled today.
Yeah, the Mustangs are looking rattled as a whole. One thing I'm kind of looking a pattern emerging. The Mustangs really have a size advantage. Madison Rowlandson, the only size in the game for Lewisburg, is we have a nice backdoor pass. Megan Beckner's really stepped up her playmaking ability in the last season. But let's see if the Mustangs can capitalize on their height advantage down low.
Here's Comer dribbling the ball up the floor, guarded by White. She'll pass the ball to Rowlandson, who has just checked into this ball game. She gets it back to Comer. She will lay it up and in, good. Count it, and the foul. That call will be on Lady Mustangs. That'll be on number 21, Kaylee White. That is her first foul of the ball game. And that free throw is no good by Comer, but it is rebounded by Emily Comer, who will take the ball back up top to set up the offense. The ball goes to Bruce. And then back to Comer. Puts the ball in her left hand, one dribble, lays it up, and no good. But a foul will be called, presumably again on Kaylee White. And if I'm correct, that'll be her second foul of this ball game.
Call me foolish. For those of you unfamiliar, though, with WVCEA women's basketball, it's an incredibly talented move to see a girls player kind of cross over, go to her left hand, her offhand, and finish close to the rim. Unfortunately, she didn't get the basket, and of course, she missed the free throw. But that's something I haven't seen very many girls basketball players do in this conference.
And here is Brianna Lemasters will get ready to check in for the Lady Mustangs. Presumably for Kaylee White, I would imagine. You're right. Honestly, guys and girls basketball, being able to put the ball in your left hand, you know.
And you saw what it did to the defense.
Great.
They really didn't know what to do there. It's like, holy cow, she has a left hand.
I was wrong there. Lemasters will come in for Autumn Barker, as Kaylee White will stay in this ball game. And they have changed that foul call on Barker. That free throw is up and good for Comer. And the score is now 19-10, Lions lead. Bland looking for Beckner, gets it into her. She put the ball in her right hand. Get the ball to White. She makes the pass too late for Lemasters. She will try to save the ball, even though it wasn't off her. And the ball will go to the Lions with 27.5 seconds left in this quarter. Barclay will run the point here for the Lions. Lions will guard her. And presumably, I would imagine they'll hold for one shot. Comer gets the ball out to Leah, or Emily Comer. The ball goes into the corner. That's Barclay, and they will call a double dribble on Barclay. And with 10.8 seconds left in this quarter, Land will try to inbound the ball to Beckner and get one final score for the Lady Mustangs. Here's White. She hits an open Tara Wolf, puts the ball up in the air, but they will call a travel before the shot. And another Lady Mustang turnover there, as the Lions will again get the ball back with 4.1 left in this quarter. The ball goes to Barclay. She dribbles the ball with her right hand down the floor. She hits Rollinson, who does not know about the clock, and will hold it as time expires in the quarter. Your score after one, 19-10, Lions lead on the Mustang Sports Network. And in that quarter, two things that really stood out to me was the good, decisive play by Emily Comer of the Lions, and the more erratic play of senior guard Megan Beckner for the Lady Mustangs.
Yeah, we definitely thought it was going to be a showdown between the two of them, and for the most part, we've been correct. Unfortunately, Megan Beckner hasn't been able to answer the bell early. Emily Comer has been fantastic with her 13 points to her credit so far, 13 of the 19. The other 6 coming by 4 from Leah Comer, 2 from Madison Bruce. And for the Mustangs, they've been forced to kind of find their offense in different places, and that's not necessarily a bad thing for them to develop the rest of the season. But when Megan Beckner is limited, this Mustangs team is limited.
And, thinking about it, this Lady Mustangs team just lost by 2 in Lewisburg. And with, homecoming night, is it possible that there are some nerves involved, too, for Beckner?
Perhaps, but it's interesting you brought that up. That 2-point game in Lewisburg kind of proves to me that this 19-10 score is really just the beginning, and we're going to be treated to a little bit better quality of play from this Mustangs team as they play up further to the level of this Lewisburg team.
Well, you're right. And the last game was a decently high-scoring game, and, this one's proving to be much of the same. Here's Beckner running the point for the Lady Mustangs to get the ball to the middle of the floor. She looks, she finds Kaylee White, and it is off her hands, out of bounds, the ball to the Lions. Here is Barclay, will dribble the ball up the floor for Lewisburg. Here the ball goes to Comer, into the corner to Rollinson, who passes it to Bruce. She'll put the ball on the floor, and that is deflected by Megan Beckner, but it is corralled by Leah Comer. Here's Emily Comer, the pump fake, a drive, it is up and good with the right hand, 21-10 lead for the Lions, as the Lady Mustang gap is getting larger. Here's Beckner to get the ball on the sideline, nearing the sideline, but the mistake is deflected out of bounds by Barclay, and the ball will stay with Morgantown. Into the ball game is senior forward Candace Bennett. She will check in for Phillips, and Beckner will again set up the offense. Brianna Lamaster, that is Tara Wolf, the flash high. Get the ball to Kaylee White, who airballs a corner jump shot, which is corralled by Emily Comer. To get the ball to her sister Leah. She gets it back to Emily. A stutter step, but Candace Bennett guards it well. And here's Rollinson, gets the ball back to Comer. Puts the ball on her right hand, gets the ball out to Rollinson, thought about the shot, but instead passes the ball to Barclay. One dribble with the right hand, and the ball goes to Comer. Here is Rollinson. She will take the three this time. It is off the backboard, no good, corralled by Kaylee White. And that ball is stolen by Emily Comer. And almost stolen again by Kaylee White. Here's Comer getting into the lane. That right-handed layup is up and good. Off the backboard, the back of the rim, the front of the rim, and then through the net. The score is 23-10. 6 minutes left in this game. And Megan Beckner gets the ball to Kaylee White. She'll pick it up, get the ball to Campbell. He lays it up and in for the fast break score for the Lady Mustangs. And their deficit is now only 11. Here's Barclay for those Lions dribbling the ball to the floor, looking to answer that layup. The ball goes to Comer. Scanning the floor, finds Rollinson. He gets it back to Barclay. to think about a three, to take it, but before the shot, they just call it travel. That's turnover on Barclay, and the ball will go back to the Lady Mustangs. Here's coach's daughter, Glam, to get the ball and here to Megan. Puts the ball in her right hand, picks it up, puts the ball to White. Thought about a three, but will instead pass the ball back to Beckner. He puts the ball in her right hand, pass down low to Wolf, and she is fouled on the shot. It looked clean to me, but the referee saw it different, and that'll be 2 shots to the line for Tara Wolf. That foul will be on number 13, Madison Rowlandson. That is her first of the game, and the 13th foul for the Lions. Here's Wolf on the line. As you see, 3 Lions and no Mustangs down there waiting for the rebound. That first free throw is no good by Wolf. And we will have a substitution. Rowlandson will be subbed out for number 22. For number 22, Abigail Mathis. As I didn't have her on my on my roster. And there you see Tara Wolf makes her second free throw. It is now a 10-point lead for the Lions. Here's Comer. She gets the ball to Emily Comer, who takes a three. No good. That ball is rebounded by Candace Bennett, who takes the ball down the sideline. That ball deflected, but still gets to Beckner. Running in transition to stop. Take a jump shot. No good. The ball is fought for and rebounded by Tara Wolf, who gets the ball to Bland, who takes a quick shot. She misses it, and that'll be an over-the-back foul on Megan Beckner. That'll be her first of the ball game. And the team 6th foul on the Lady Mustangs with 1 more foul, and they are in the penalty. Or I should say the Lions are in the penalty with that. As they will shoot free throws the rest away. Here's Comer, gets the ball to Emily Comer. Looking, puts the ball in her right hand, takes the foul line, jump shot, no good off the backboard. The ball is corralled and rebounded by Brooklyn Bland, who gets the ball in transition. And will turn the ball over. Traveling will be the violation, and the ball will go to number 32, Ava Barkley, in this Lions offense. Here's Leah Comer, dribbling the ball down the floor. Finds Emily, and they will call her on the travel. As she switched hands with the ball before dribbling, I guess, and no call to travel there. Here's Beckner, puts the ball in her right hand, as usual, to get the ball to the sideline. No trap this time as she takes the ball to the center. Runs an open Kaylee White, who gets the ball into Tara Wolf, who puts the shot up, no good. And that ball will be deflected out of bounds. This is off the Lady Mustang, and the ball will go to the Lions. And with 4:15 left in the second quarter, the score is 23-13, Lions lead here in Morgantown on the Mustang Sports Network. Here's Barclay, dribbling the ball down the floor as the Mustangs defend here. Here's Beckner, she's guarding Bruce in the corner. She finds an open Emily Comer, surveying the floor. She will hit Barclay, 2 dribbles to get the ball to Leah Comer. And they will set up their offense once again. Here's Emily Comer. She thought about a three, but decided against it. Will put the ball on the floor twice with the right hand and turn the ball over to Candace Bennett. Bennett gets in transition and just threw it right to Barclay. Give Barclay another steal for these Lions, rather. Here she is to get the ball in the paint. Finds Comer, who will lay it up no good. It looked like she was hit, but there's no foul call, and Bennett will corral the rebound and get the ball into the Mustang front court. Here's Tara Wolf retrieving the deflection to get the ball to Bland, who then passes it back out to White. The ball goes to Bland. She will take a three. It is good. It's going out 23-16 as Bland hit that three. Here's Comer. She finds number 22, Abigail Mathis, who misses that shot. Beckner, corrals the rebound and will take it down the floor. She finds Kaylee White. 1 dribble with the left hand, and they will call a blocking foul.
I loved, was that Brooklyn Bland who knocked down that last triple?
Yeah.
She turns to Kaylee White, and Kaylee White White's running down the floor, strumming the guitar like she's John Morant of Murray State. A little bit of confidence here for the girls' team.
See, I'm not sure what you're talking about there. That's a Lance Stevenson move, too. John Morant stole that and he's terrible. Lay it up and in. I'm not sure many of you know this, but Lance Stevenson plays for the Lakers with LeBron James in Los Angeles, and he's known for his crazy antics. He's one of my favorite players. And now, I've just been informed by Luke Riggs that the Mustangs on an 8-4 run here. Here's Comer. He gets the ball up top. He gets the ball to Barclay. He finds Parker, and that ball will go out of bounds and will remain in the possession of the Lions. Barclay will be the inbounder. Presumably, I would imagine, looking for Comer. She does hit her down low, and she will throw the ball out of bounds. It looks like she's maybe slapped on the wrist, but it will be called. Here, the ball goes into Beckner on a risky pass. Bland threw it behind her. But Beckner will, secure it to the Lady Mustang. Put the ball in her right hand. Steve Nash probing here. To find Kaylee White. She gets a wide open Kansas defender who misses the bunny. The rebound by Wolf. Who has missed 2 shots. Got 3 offensive rebound possessions. And Steve will tackle number 3, Emily Clemmer.
Was that Carol Wolf or Jason Leach I just saw on that play? I don't.
I think it was a little bit of both. Jason Leach is the center for this varsity boys Mustangs team, if you were not aware. And here Comer gets the ball to Honaker. Gets the ball back to Comer. He goes to Barclay. The ball into Comer. No good. That rebound by Bennett. Takes the ball down the sideline. And we'll go the ball too high for Beckner. That ball stolen by Bruce. Get the ball in her right hand and lay it up and in. 25-18 your score with 1:45 left in this quarter, or in this half, I should say. And here's Bland. No one is moving for her to inbound the ball. Finally, they get the ball to Beckner, who will get a little misdirection. And she'll send the ball to the Lady Mustangs and will set up their offense. Here's Bland, gets the ball back to Beckner. A baseball pass over to White. Will take a jump shot, no good. Rebounded by Tara Wolf. The ball goes to Bland, back to Beckner. Puts the ball in her right hand, and she is blocked. The ball will stay with the Lady Mustangs. And solid defensive play there by Honaker. And Bland will inbound the ball to the Lady Mustangs. She will hit Megan Beckner up top. Hits Candace Bennett. That jump shot is up, no good. An air ball for Bennett. And that ball is off Honaker. The ball will stay with Megan Beckner and the Lady Mustangs. Here's Bland inbounding the ball. Megan is open. And she finally gets the ball to Kara Wolf right as 5 seconds is about to be called. Here's Megan Beckner. She'll take a wild jump shot, and they'll call foul. As Megan Beckner and the Lady Mustangs frankly got bailed out on that foul call. That'll be number 2 on Emily Comer.
I was going to say that does 2 things for this Mustang team. It gets Megan Beckner a chance to get some easy points at the line. It's the 2nd foul on Emily Comer. You get her in foul trouble. What does that mean for this Lewisburg team?
Well, it means a lot. I don't think it would mean as much if, if Megan Beckner were to get in foul trouble, because they still have Barclay who can handle the ball for Lewisburg Baptist, where, there's no one for the Lady Mustangs behind Beckner. Beckner is currently scoreless in this game, hoping to change that with her first free throw, which is up and no good. That ball is knocked out of bounds by Comer, and it will stay with the Lady Mustangs. A solid hustle play there by Carol Wolf, who kept the ball alive for the Lady Mustangs and will get them another chance. She gets rewarded and is fouled on the entry pass, and she will go to the line for the one-on-one. Or, my bad, that's only 16 fouls. That's only 16 fouls on the Lions, and the Mustangs will inbound. Ball goes to Wolf. Who will dribble it up to Megan Beckner, who will almost turn the ball over. That's deflection made by Honaker. And Candace Bennett will throw it off the feet of Barclay. She gets the steal and lays it up and into the Lions. Here's Bland. looking for Beckner to find him. To put the ball in her left hand, dribble up the floor. Ball at the foul line. Now goes to Bland. Her toes on the line. And she misses that very long two. And it was rebounded by Barkley. We'll get the ball in transition again. Throw up a wild shot. No good. After being batted around, it is corralled by Megan Beckner. They take the ball down the floor. And Barkley gets the strip, but the ball was out of bounds. And with 18.5 seconds left in this first half, the Mustangs just have the ball. As you see Nikki Bland there calling for them to take the last shot of this quarter. Here's Kaylee White. She will force up the shot, no good off the glass. And a foul will be called against the Lions. It's Kara Wolf who's ripped down to the ground after that offensive rebound, and she will toe the line for the 1-on-1 free throws. That foul is on number 1, Madison Bruce, her second of the ballgame.
That foul could have just as easily been on Emily Comer, who fell down hard to the floor on top of Kara Wolf in that play. Lucky for Lewisburg, it was not.
And there, Kara Wolf misses that shot, and that foul would have been huge on Comer because she has 17 of the 27 Lewisburg basket points. As you see, Leah Comer laying the ball in with her right hand to increase the lead to 11 for the Lions. And there, Lions will not get the ball in as the buzzer sounds. And your halftime score here in Kelsey Moore Gym is 29-18, Lions lead. A big pass there by Emily Comer, who has 17 points for the Lions. And a more disappointing half for Megan Beckner, who is held scoreless for the Mustangs. What are your takes on that?
Definitely, and Lewisburg really showing their ability to make this a guards game. Madison Bruce with 6 points to her credit. Leah Comer with 6, and of course the 17 by Emily Comer. All three are just the 3 of those players responsible for all 29 of these Lewisburg Baptist points in this first half. They've shown an ability to get to the rim, use their quickness, crossover, change hands, from some veteran moves by all 3 of those guards. The Mustangs, on the other hand, their scoring coming a little bit more in a variety of different ways. Kaylee White with some mid-range jumpers. Jenna Phillips had an easy 2. Carol Wolf, the leading scorer for this Mustangs team in the first half, with 7 points. And Brooklyn Bland with, the Lance Stevenson shot. 5 points to her credit in the first half. So it's nice to see some unfamiliar faces getting into the score sheet for this Mustangs team and not necessarily have to rely on Megan Beckner offensively, because when Megan Beckner finally wakes up, that'll speak volumes to what this team can do offensively.
And that is a great point there. As the Lady Mustangs have hung in this game, presumably without Megan Beckner. Beckner has, several turnovers and has scored, and she's just looked a little off her game.
Yeah, they're going to have to do more to get her open, maybe set her some screens, give her the opportunity to attack downhill and one-on-one matchups. We see here a little shot by our producer-engineer, Caleb Wolf. Thank you for stepping in this game. Caleb, this is the first time I'm getting a look at these new unis. Are these the new the jerseys that the Mustangs will be rocking for the next game, the Adidas? I have to say, I wore the same jersey for 6 years, that little cloth number. You sweat in that thing. It's like a lead vest at the dentist. It was 6,000 degrees in those warm-ups. I don't know.
I was just going to bring up the new logo, as, if you don't know, Luke's father, Kyle Wiggs, is instrumental in getting the old logo, as they have since switched it up. I don't know about you, but I'm partial towards that old Mustangs logo, and I really miss it.
I kind of miss the retro lettering, so I'm going to have to ask you this question, Christian. Let's give our old jerseys maybe a design 7 and a feel 4. What are we looking at? What do you like about these jerseys? What do you not?
Well, they definitely look lighter.
Yeah, that's true.
They're not like million-pound trash bags.
A little bit more breathable.
Yeah, for sure. It looks like they can actually move in them now.
Yeah, definitely.
And, not just, like trying to walk around in like a cardboard suit of armor.
Yeah, and definitely that brings up an interesting point of note. We invite you to stick around for our next broadcast following the girls' game. We'll have some varsity boys action. Again, Lewisburg Baptist Academy versus your Morgantown Christian Academy Mustangs, the likes of Silas Beckner, Noah Karilko. They'll face off against Logan Toothman, Isaac Bean, Kyle Thomas, and the the Fighting Lions, if you will, of Lewisburg Baptist. But with all that being said, we've got a girls matchup here.
Going back on that guys game later tonight, one thing that I remember from when we played them in the first round of the tournament last year was they were a very jump shot happy team. If you're Coach Linkus and if you're Mustang squad here, how do you stop that?
Well, that's interesting because predominantly the WVCEA, they kind of relied on that kind of dribble motion offenses, getting inside. This Lewisburg Baptist team really didn't take the ball into the low post against us much. They tried to win the game on the perimeter. Now, they stuck with us for most of the game. However, they were unable, at the end to hit their shots. That allowed us to pull away, to use our length inside, our ability to get to the rim. So it's going to be interesting to see. Another thing to keep in mind, this isn't their gym. You get up hundreds of shots a day, but it's on your gym, on your rim, and your setting. To go to an opposing site in a gym you're not so familiar with, occasionally it's more difficult for those jump shots to fall.
Going back on the whole gym topic there, you could almost say that we don't have a gym of our own either, as we are in the process of, getting plans to build a gym on property.
Well, that would be huge for an MCA team, because to come over here to Kelsey Moore Arena, of course, we've talked about how wonderful it is that we've had this in the history of our school. However, we've kind of been limited to what we've been able to do as a team. We get, 2-hour practices twice a week. You're looking at 4, sometimes 6 hours of practice time a week, and that puts a lot of pressure on the players to do a lot of work at home. Not everybody has a rim or a driveway where they can go out and dribble. For you to be able to have your own gym to go to after school every day, get your shots up, because Mustang teams in the past, we've been in shape, we've been whatever. We haven't been the best shooting team. That's not really to the fault of our players or the fault of the coaches. It's really to the fact that we don't get the shot opportunities that these other schools with the gym, that have a gym of their own, are able to. So, that really adds another dimension for this Mustangs team offensively, should theoretically we were, of course, to build the gym.
I know for a fact, going to all the middle school practices, it's tough to get everything you need to get in, and hour-and-a-half practices 2 to 3 times a week. When you're trying to implement, complex offenses and defenses to a middle school group of kids, it's tough not being able to run them out there every single day to get that repetition. And and there are sometimes it shows where if the other team has a lot of defensive pressure, that it's natural for you to panic a little bit. And once we get our own gym, I feel like a lot of those issues, I should say, would be solved.
Well, then I'll have to throw this question to you. I'm very thankful, of course, that we had this gym in Kelsey Moore. Compared to some of the other places we played at, for those of you at home that were able to see during the broadcast, it's not a wooden floor. However, it's kind of a hardened concrete surface with some kind of rubbering on top of it. It's a nice a surface to play on, I suppose, compared to, man, we've had some horror stories over the years. I have to think of a particular Heritage of Ohio.
That's exactly where I was going.
They had dead spots on the floor when sometimes you'd be dribbling the ball down the floor in your right hand, and then for no reason the ball wouldn't come up to you. They had big cracks in the floor. The second place we played at Heritage of Ohio, they moved locations. It was in a barn.
We were just playing like in a barn.
It was
concrete.
Exactly. The gym was from like the movie Hoosiers or something like that.
I was just going to say, it looked like Jimmy shooting on that rim in Hoosiers outside, at the start of the movie.
What do you remember, the good and the bad, from the gyms that we've played at over the years? Because we both played, of course, for 6 years here at MCA.
Well, obviously, you've got to love playing down at the tournament in Beckley.
I was going to say that.
Of West Virginia,
Appalachian Bible College. That really is.
Get it out.
That is the Mecca, if you will. It's probably not the right term to be using there. That is the pilgrimage that every high school basketball Christian team in the state wants to take, is to go down to Appalachian Bible College. But what were some of the others that stood out to you in the past?
Well, was it Taze Valley that always had a nice floor?
Yeah.
Although it wasn't their floor, I believe they rented that too.
That was it Greater Beckley Christian's floor? I can't remember.
It was something like that, and also Wood County over in Parkersburg. I always enjoyed their floor. When we were in middle school, we had fine arts there. And then, later we would end up, playing basketball there, and we would have baseball games on their field too, which, that's a different story.
Let me throw another one out there for you, because I think everybody that's familiar with this team and has traveled on the road with this team will remember. There's a very particular gym that sticks out in memory that speaks to maybe not the greatest quality. Parkersburg Christian. I remember my freshman year, the ice skating rink. Exactly, it's the first thing that comes up. We played at a tournament there. Credit Tyler Lankus for that the buzzer-beating hook shot there in game 1 of that tournament. I think we went on to lose in the third place game. However, the rain and the humidity on top of that mountain there, the condensation that would like pile up on top of the floor. You weren't able to get your grip, and it was this old tile that was like 30 years old. Exactly. And all the years of wear and tear, it was a slip and slide on that floor.
And my favorite memory out of all of that was our 7th grade year, the first year that, you know, the two of us played. Isaac Jarvis, who was a guard for the Mustangs back then, went to either Finish Line or Foot Locker or Hibbett Sports, you know, over in the Morgantown Mall. And he bought this stick of stuff that you're supposed to stick on your shoes, and, you know, it's supposed to keep you from sliding, supposedly. And, you know, it's probably supposed to last probably a whole entire season, I would imagine. He probably stuck half that stick on his shoes, and, you know, and it helped him for a solid, like, 3 minutes. And then you go back, you know, to a couple years ago, and you have Andrew Carpenter, who, you know, played alongside us, and he's got, like, baby powder. And so we went through several remedies, you know, none of them ever ended up working.
Let me throw one more court out there for you. This is the one that was on our schedule at the beginning of our tenure at MCA. Unfortunately, they didn't have a team as we got older and we stopped playing them. No, neither of them actually. Bethel Christian, I think it was in Pennsylvania. I want to say there was a Fox's Pizza Den on one of the baselines, not to mention the baseline itself was a mere 2 or 3 inches. There's no way that floor was regulation distance, but nonetheless, I remember I wasn't playing that year. You know, I was a 7th grader. Neither one of us played.
I was going to say, I never got it.
I remember, I don't remember who the inbounder was. I want to say it was maybe like a Caleb Berdar. He goes underneath the basket, inbound it. He looks down and sees that his feet are still over the line. He has to turn his feet completely to the side to wedge them in so he could get out of bounds to inbound that ball, and how tiny that court was.
That was the game that Coach Mauser, he was getting on me because I was wearing a pair of Jordans, and he didn't think they looked good enough.
Not up to his standards.
I guess not, but did I ever live up to his standards?
Very few people did.
And here we go, as halftime has just ended, and the Lady Mustangs will start with the ball here. The ball goes to Megan Beckner, and she will run the offense here for the Lady Mustangs, hoping to get this team back on track. They just score 29-18, the Lions lead. She will throw the ball too high to Tara Wolf there. The ball will stay out of bounds, and it will go to the Lions, rather. Another turnover for the Lady Mustangs and Megan Beckner. And here's Comer. She was dribbling the ball down the floor, but decided to pass it to Barclay, and she will set up the Lions offense on their first play here in the second half. The ball goes down to the corner to Honaker, passes the ball to Comer. And here's Emily Comer. She's posting up. They have not gotten the ball down to her yet, as there is good defense being played on her by Jenna Phillips. Here's Honaker back to Comer. They're playing a little two-man game right here. And that ball goes to Barclay, who lays it up and in. Here's Bennett, who will scan the floor. She'll find Megan Beckner, who will put the ball in her right hand. And will start to take the ball to the sideline. She'll cross over, get the ball to the middle of the floor, turn around, and set up the offense. Beckner's dribbling the ball around, gets the ball to Bennett, who finds an open Jenna Phillips, who takes the shot. It is up, no good. Rebounded by Comer, who will dribble the ball down the floor. She gets the ball in transition. She's going to take the ball all the way to the basket. She lays it up, and she is fouled by Kara Wolf. That'll be 2 chances to the line here for Emily Comer, who will look to add to her 17-point game so far. And that is the first foul on both the Lady Mustangs and Kara Wolf for this half. Here's Comer. This shot is up to see if she'll have 18 for the game. Off the back of the rim and good. Comer will receive the ball game. She will take her 3 power dribbles. The free throw up and good. Mark it 19 for her, 18 for the Lady Mustangs. So she is now outscoring the entire MCA team. The score is 33-18. Lions lead. 6:30 left in this quarter. Here's Beckner. Dribbles the ball down the floor. To get the ball on the left side. Gets the ball to White. Puts the ball in her left hand. Lays it up. No good. And that rebound is batted around, grabbed by Comer, who will get the ball in transition. Cross the ball over, cross it over again, and will wildly throw the ball to Bruce. Bruce will put the ball in her left hand, and she is stopped by the duo of Beckner and Wolf. And a jump ball will be called. Possession arrow staying here with the Lions. Here's Barclay with the inbound. He finds Comer, puts the ball in her right hand. One dribble, stop, jump shot up and good. Make that 20 now for Comer. And the score is now 35-18 as Beckner dribbles the ball down the floor, trying to beat this Lions pressure. He currently has Barclay and Comer guarding her, as you have Bennett open on the other wing. And there Comer will drop down. And I'm not sure if that was a shot or a pass there by Beckner. Either way, the ball ends up in the hands of Barclay as she is fouled on the layup attempt by Megan Beckner. That'll be her first foul, the team's second. And Bruce, rather, will go to the free throw line. I am wrong. That is actually foul number 2 on Megan Beckner. Here's Barclay. Her shot is up in the air. Off the back of the rim, off the front of the rim, off the side of the rim, and no good. Her next shot is up in the air, and no good off the side of the rim. But the ball is rebounded by Comer, who takes it away from Phillips. And she dribbles the ball to the other side of the floor. It'll be a backcourt violation. I'm not sure what happened there. I think it was just, a momentary lapse in, in her memory, I guess. And
I loved
Coach
timeout
called there.
That was Coach Jeff Mathis. He saw his player take off to the opposite basket. Like you said, a lapse in judgment. He's screaming behind the official, timeout, timeout. And that's why he was rewarded timeout. Unfortunately for Lewisburg, it was a little too late for them to blow the whistle before the turnover was occurred. But, hey, the Mustangs will absolutely take something like that down 17. You're going to need to create turnovers, and there's a turnover that was just given to you for free.
That is definitely not the first time the referees have not awarded a turnover. Or a timeout, rather, to a head coach leading for one.
Oh, I don't know if we should go there.
I'm referencing my middle school team here last game, in case you didn't know. And it looks like they did grant a timeout, actually.
Yeah.
Before, and it won't be a turnover. I take all that.
Oh, really?
Back. Here's Comer. That shot is up from 3. No good. Rebounded by Bennett. She'll get the ball in transition. Across the half-court line, get into the paint, throw the ball to Wolf, who bats it out of bounds. That ball go to the Lions. The turnover there on Bennett. And with 5:16 left, your score is 35-18. The Lions lead over the Lady Mustangs. Here's Barclay running the point this time for the Lions, and she will be guarded by Candace Bennett. The ball goes inside the Comer. Here's Wolf to take the shot, and that shot is good. 22 for Comer, 18 to the Lady Mustangs, and Beckner will have the ball as he takes it down the floor for the Lady Mustangs. The she's still scoreless. Here's Bennett to put the ball in her right hand, going attacking from the sideline, and they will call a blocking foul on the Lions as they impeded on Bennett's pass to the bucket. That foul will be on number 5, Kendra Honaker, for her second foul of this ball game. And the first team foul for the Lions in this half. The ball goes into Beckner, who is fouled on her shot attempt. A good find there by Bennett, and good realization to quickly get the shot up there by Beckner. And she will presumably go to the line for 2 shots here. And this is a good chance for her to get on the board as she's still scoreless. She just needs some easy points to get herself in the flow of the game.
Yeah, exactly. 1 or 2 shots is all it takes potentially to unleash the beast that is Megan Beckner.
And there she is. She makes her first bucket of this ball game. And your score is now 37-19. An 18-point lead for the Lions. And Beckner here will now try to cut that lead to 17. And try to get her Lady Mustangs back in this ball game on homecoming night. Her second free throw is up. No good. Short off the front of the rim. She's 1 for 4 now from the line. And Honaker will get the ball to Comer, and the Lions will set up the offense. Here's Barclay. Ball in the center of the floor. She gets the ball back to Comer. She puts the ball in her right hand. about 3 dribbles and throws up a wild shot just past the free throw line. No good. Rebounded by Wolf. He turns the ball over, trying to get the ball to Bennett. And the ball will stay as it is deflected out of bounds again by Wolf. As Homer could not hang on to the ball. And Barclay will inbound to the Lions. He's had an open Honaker, who will take a mid-range jump shot that is blocked by Kaylee White. And the ball will go out of bounds and stay with the Lions. And they will reset everything all over again. That ball goes to Honaker, who is fouled. That foul will be on number 15 for the Lady Mustangs, Candace Bennett. Her second foul of the ball game, team's third. The ball goes to Honaker on the wing. He takes a dribble and gets the ball to Comer, rather. To center the ball and get it to Barclay. He again brings it to center. Gets the ball to Honaker, who takes the push shot and deflects it out of bounds. As she tries to get her own rebound, the ball will go to the Lady Mustangs as they try to cut into this 18-point lead for the Lions here on this possession. Here's Beckner trying to get past the trap of Homer and Barclay. She does, gets the ball to Bennett. Here's Jenna Phillips, no good. Fighting for the offensive rebound. She cannot get her own miss. That ball is rebounded by Madison Rowlinson, who checked into this ball game a few minutes ago. Here's Bruce to get the ball in the lane. That shot is up and good. She flips it up and in with the right hand for the and one. The score is now 39-19. As the Lions are now up by 20. That foul will be the third on number 31, Jenna Phillips. And the fourth on the Lady Mustangs. Here's the shot for Bruce. That shot is up off the back of the rim and good. So now a 21-point lead as the Lions grow their lead by 3 on that possession. And here's Beckner. She gets past Homer, but Barclay is there to stop her as she tries to get the ball in transition. Beckner is surveying the floor. There's a screen there by Bennett. And they will call a foul. I believe that will be a reaching foul on number 3, Emily Comer, which was, they will call it on Leah Comer, rather. That is her second foul of the game. And Bennett turns the ball over. Never mind, it goes out of bounds. The ball will stay with the Lady Mustangs, but she was looking for Megan Beckner there, and Honaker deflected that ball out of bounds, almost getting the steal. Here's Bland now with the inbound. Coach Mitchell Bland decides to switch everything up, and she will turn the ball over this time. Looking for Kaylee White, it goes off her fingertips. Here's Barclay looking to set up the offense to grow this 21-point Lion lead. She finds Leah Comer, who gets the ball back to Barclay. And now a little two-man game here again as they are just passing the ball back and forth. It looks like, up 21, they're just trying to kill a little bit of time. Here's Honaker. He finds Comer. He puts the ball on the floor. And after about 5 steps, Barclay decides that she is going to dribble. And in what looked to be a makeup call, Honaker called the travel there. And Mitchell Bland will take a timeout. Here's Lady Mustangs. This score is 40-19, Lions lead with 2:53 left. Here in Kelsey Moore Gym on the Mustang Sports Network. This lead for the Lions, it continues to grow. They're getting the ball in their paint. And despite not having the size that the Mustangs have, they're still scoring over top of, the Mustang forwards, while when Megan Beckner gets the ball inside to her forwards, they're missing bunnies. How do you fix that if you're Mitchell Bland?
Well, what this Lewisburg Baptist team lacks in size and makes up for in quickness, we mentioned that with the 3-guard tandem for this team, along with Ava Barclay, finally got herself on the board. This Lewisburg team has proven to be way too quick for the Mustangs to handle. Now's the time in the game where you're down by double figures, you're down by 21 points in this situation. You kind of need to throw away the game plan, because this grit and grind style that Mitchell Bland has been trying to play to get it down to his forwards, it hasn't necessarily been working, and even if it was, it's a little bit too slow of an offense to cover a 21-point deficit. Now's the time to run and gun, maybe rely on some of the mid-range shots, go back to what was successful offensively for this team in the first half. Brooklyn Bland and Kaylee White from the perimeter try to space the floor and open things up for Megan Beckner here.
Do you think that maybe it's about the time to, go to that press that he used so much his first year coaching here back 3 years ago?
Sure, you got to create and speed up the other team's offense to get the ball back as quick as you can.
Here's Beckner to get the ball to White. Thought about the shot, decides to pass it, and that shot is no good by Wolf. He misses the wide open bunny. And after a dive for the ball by Comer, it'll stay here with the Lady Mustangs as you see Candace Bennett helping her up to her feet. Brooklyn Bland will inbound to the Lady Mustangs. I would imagine she looks for Megan Beckner and finds her. Beckner will put the ball in her right hand. She will find Wolf down low, and as she goes up for that shot attempt, she will be fouled. That will be on number 13, Madison Rowlandson. And Wolf will step to the line for 2 free throws. That first shot is good there by Sarah Wolf. And I was wrong on that foul earlier. They will actually call that on Abigail Mathis, and this is her first foul of the ball game. And now both teams have 4 team fouls for this half. That second free throw is off the front of the rim. No good by Kara Wolf and rebounded by Leah Comer. To get the ball in transition, and before she can make the pass, the referee will call a travel. And now down by 20 points. Megan Beckner and the Lady Mustangs will look to cut into this lead a little bit more. Beckner gets the ball in transition, takes up the right-handed layup, no good off the backboard. That ball is rebounded by Wolf. After a few pump fakes, she decides to put the ball up, and she is fouled yet again. 2 more at the line for her.
Carol Wolf still the leading scorer for the Mustangs in this game. She's got 8 points. We'll see if they rely on her offensively again. It's a slower brand of basketball, but if that's the only way you can create points for this team, that's what Mitchell Bland is going to have to do.
That first shot by Wolf is up and no good. And that foul that just happened moments ago will be the second on Abigail Mathis, who picked up her second foul in about 30 seconds. That second shot is no good by Kara Wolf. Going 1 for her last 4 from the line. It is rebounded by Comer, who stops. And that ball is stripped by Kaylee White, rather. And it'll be a jump ball, possession arrow going to the Lady Mustangs. There's White, sets a screen for Megan Beckner, who gets open and gets the ball. She's guarded by Comer and Barclay as they are looking for the trap. Beckner did not use that screen there by Bland, and will get the ball to the middle of the floor to find Kaylee White. Takes the pump fake, takes the shot, no good. That ball is collected and put in by Kara Wolf, who adds to her point total. That'll be 10 now in the ball game. And a timeout now will be called by Lewisburg Baptist as Mitchell Bland and his Lady Mustangs cut the lead to 18. Your score 40-22 with a minute 51 left in the third quarter.
Here's what this Lewisburg Baptist press is doing to this MCA team. It's not necessarily creating the turnovers that it was in the first half. However, look at the time progression for these Mustang possessions. It's 8 to 9 seconds for Megan Beckner to get the ball across midcourt. It's another 5 or 6 seconds for the Mustangs to get into their half-court offense. And by that point, it's another 10 to 15 seconds before they work the ball around and get a good shot. Lewisburg Baptist, again, they're not necessarily creating the turnovers, but their ball pressure is forcing these Mustang possessions to be 30 seconds, 40 seconds apiece, and that's not what you're looking for if you're Mitchell Bland. You have to score quickly. So this timeout here, I'm sure he's addressing, this is what we can do to break this press as soon as we can, to get open lanes to the basket, to get opportunities, to get easy twos, to get fouls, to go to the line. And on the flip side of that, here's what we do to shut down Lewisburg Baptist, offensively, limit to what their guards can do, and potentially come back in this ball game.
Now playing the Tony Romo role here, this is a Super Bowl per se. If you're Coach Mathis, what are you drawing up here?
You're just killing as much time as you possibly can. I mean, let your guards do what they do. Let your defense do what it does.
Barclay will take the ball down the floor. She's guarded by Bland. That ball goes in the corner to Barclay after she passes the ball to Bruce. And she will dribble the ball back up top. Killing time, just like you said. Good job, Tony. And that ball will go to number 13, Madison Rowlandson, who just checked into this ball game. Here's number 2, Leah Comer, to take the ball up. And that shot is good. The right-handed layup goes in. And it is back to a 22-point lead for the Lions. Here's Megan Beckner dribbling the ball up the floor, looking to answer. puts the ball in her right hand. She finds Brooklyn Bland, who will take the corner three. That never even made it 10 feet up in the air, as it was just a line drive about a solid 9.5 feet. Just kind of floating until finally it went into the hands of, I believe, Kara Wolf, and they will call the foul. It'll be on Madison Bruce. It's her third. With that being the sixth team foul on the Lewisburg Baptist Lions, the Lady Mustangs will be shooting foul shots for the rest of the game. There's Blanche gets the ball into Beckner. She gets the ball to White. Just take a floater, but is fouled. 2 shots to the line now for White. And that foul will be called on number 22, Abigail Mathis, her third of the ball game. And now the Lady Mustangs will be shooting foul shots the rest of the way. That first shot is up, no good for Kaylee White.
Well, it's one thing to be able to shoot foul shots the rest of the game. It's another thing to hit your foul shots, unfortunately, for this Lady Mustangs team.
That second shot by White drops right through. 19-point lead for the Lions now. And Barclay will set up for offense. 54 seconds left in this quarter. Barclay has Bland on her. She'll look to find Rollinson. Started by Bennett. Rollinson puts the ball in her right hand. 2 dribbles, takes a floater. That ball is rebounded by Megan Beckner. She pushes the ball in transition. She gets back, gets past Comer. That ball is deflected out of bounds by Barclay, and it will stay with the Lady Mustangs. And with 34.9 left, the Lady Mustangs will look for a good shot here. There she got Kara Wolf. Goes up with a shot, and she is fouled. She will go to the line, presumably for 2 shots. That foul is on Mathis, who has picked up her 4th foul of this quarter. They'll call it 1-1 as they call the foul on the floor. Wolf misses it, but then gets her own rebound to set up the offense to Beckner. And with 30 seconds left, I would imagine Mitchell Bland would have his team. Never mind, they will not hold for one more shot as that ball is turned over there by White. And now with 21.3 left, the Lions will get the ball. Here you see Kendra Honecker. She will be subbed in for Madison Rollinson. And Barclay will dribble the ball down the floor. She passes the half-court line with 13 seconds left. Here is Comer. She's guarded by Kaylee White. Puts the ball in her right hand. 3 dribbles, 4. She gets the ball, but it is stolen by Beckner, who takes the half-court shot, air ball. And with your 4th quarter starting here in 1 minute, your score is 42-23 here on the Mustang Sports Network. The Lions with the lead.
You look at Lewisburg Baptist in that quarter, they outscored the Mustangs by 8. This team led by 11 at halftime, and now it leads by 19. They're doing everything right. The Mustangs, on the other hand, they're not doing much well. The Mustangs only able to score 5 points in that quarter. They're really looking for an answer offensively. They had a couple of people step up in the first, and Kaylee White and Carol Wolf and Brooklyn Bland, but now, with the exception of maybe Carol Wolf and her ability to get to the free throw line, they're really going through a dry spell offensively now. 19 points, not necessarily an insurmountable total, but the Mustangs are definitely going to have to make some adjustments as they approach this 4th quarter of action. Just a reminder, we invite you all to stick around. The conclusion of this stream will end. We'll start another one briefly following it. We'll have varsity boys matchup between your Morgantown Christian Academy Mustangs and the Lewisburg Lions.
Perhaps the most interesting thing of that quarter was Emily Comer, who has 21 points, leading all scorers in this game for the Lewisburg Baptist Lions. She only played 3 or 4 minutes that quarter, and the Lady Mustangs still were outscored.
Right, that's when you see guards like Madison Bruce and Leah Comer, I'm assuming the younger sister of Emily, use their straight line speed to get to the rim and control the tempo of this game.
And as we were just talking about Emily Comer, she has just checked back in this game for the start of the 4th quarter, as she will try to lock this one away. Here she is to take the ball, to pass it out. That shot no good by Bruce. It is batted around. Comer gets the rebound. No good again. That ball will be rotated off of Bruce and not Beckner. And the ball will go to the Lady Mustangs. Megan Beckner will dribble the ball up the floor. Try to start the offense. She finds Jenna Phillips, who will dribble the ball once. And they will call a jump ball as She just picked it up and held it. She didn't shin it. She didn't go up with a shot. She didn't pass it out. She panicked and just held it. But they will get the ball back. There's Phillips with the jump shot. It is up and good. She redeemed herself there for the, mental, the lapse in judgment before. And your score now 42-25. The Lions lead. Here's Barclay guarded by Bland. She'll get the ball to Comer. Still guarded by Bland. As the Lady Mustangs have dropped into more of a 2-3 defense. That shot there by Barclay is no good. After being tipped around, it is grabbed by Megan Beckner, and the referee will call the ball out of bounds, even though Megan Beckner never crossed the line. The only thing I could have seen there was maybe the ball cross, but I'm literally standing right on that sideline, and that ball was nowhere near the end line. That ball was inbounds to Megan Beckner. Here's Emily Comer. She's 21 in the game, and she will get the ball to Barclay. Comer sets a screen, and Barclay tried to pass it to her, but they saved the ball. And obviously unhappy with that turn of events there, Coach Mathis will call a timeout, and will try to fix, the miscommunication, I should say, with that Lions offensive possession.
Yeah, they've kind of gone into a pick and roll kind of offense away from the ball. They want to keep it on the perimeter before they decide they want to go down low. They're looking for wide open lanes to maximize high percentage looks at the rim, and it was interesting there. They had Ava Barclay kind of switch to their primary ball handler, kind of run a two-man game with Emily Comer, or two-girl game, I should say. They weren't really on the same page, and if you're Lewisburg Baptist in this particular situation, everything you fix, it's more so moving forward. It's kind of cosmetic. It's, just something that this team can work on as they progress through the rest of their season.
Now, it's easy to say that, I'm not quite sure I understand why they're setting screens as often as they are with a zone defense, but I guess it's working.
Well, that's the interesting.
It's more of a matchup zone. I guess I could see it.
Well, the interesting thing about that is, that's not exactly what you're used to when you're running, a zone defense. The screen kind of, especially in women's basketball, you see something you're not very familiar with, you're not sure what to do. You come up and screen that person that's supposed to apply the high ball pressure, and then the defense really doesn't know how to react.
Leah Comer will inbound the ball to Barclay, who gets the ball to Emily Comer, and the ball goes back to Barclay. Bland guarding her. That was almost a carry there by Comer, but she gets the ball to Leah, who misses the shot. That ball is tipped around, still going, and rebounded by Leah Comer, who gets the ball to Emily Comer, who will set up the offense by giving the ball to Barclay. Here you see Brooklyn Bland getting a lot of work up top, as everything they're running is just a whole ton of, they're just switching ball handlers, and they're making her switch onto each one as they're running the zone. And there's a wide open Emily Comer for her 22nd and 23rd points in this ball game, rather. As that was just, they kept moving the ball over and over and over again to different people to wear out that zone and get the easy score. A good play there coming out of the timeout by Coach Mathis, as you see there. Brooklyn Bland will airball a wing three, and the ball will go back to the Lions as that ball is traveled out of bounds. Barclay will dribble the ball off the floor and set up the offense, trying to grow this 19-point lead to the Lions. Here's the leading scorer, Emily Comer. She gets the ball back to Barclay. She's guarded by Bland once again. She gets past both Bennett and Bland, but then kicks it out. She gets the ball back. She'll dribble the ball into the lane, and a blocking foul will be called on Jenna Phillips as Emily Comer went up for that shot. And she will try for points number 24 and 25 from the free throw line.
I love the maturity there by Emily Comer. We've mentioned it for the entire game, her ability to get to the rim, use both hands, kind of have a mid-range game, a post game. She's a very well-developed player. She's really deadly for this team, and they have the secondary pieces around her to potentially be a dangerous team. You saw her hit the free throw there for a 24th point. This potentially is a really dangerous team come tournament time for the WVCEA.
It's very dangerous, and so far, the games that me and you have called, this looks like the best team that we have played so far.
Sure, and with the graduation of some certain players at Seneca Trail and just the changing of the guard, this could be a team that steps up and fills in one of those roles as the dominant girls team in West Virginia Christian School State basketball.
And there you see for the Lady Mustangs, Jenna Phillips who, a few possessions ago, picked up her fourth foul of the ball game, lays the ball up and in for 2 points for the Lady Mustangs. Your score now 45-27. The Lions lead by 18. Here's Barclay. And she will hit Comer, who is wide open for the layup. She will miss it. She was disrupted there by Jenna Phillips, who then gets the rebound, but turns it over, looking for Megan Beckner. After being batted around, it looked like that was off the feet with Kaylee White. And here we'll have a substitution for both sides. For Jenna Phillips, rather, will check out for Brianna Lamasters for Mitchell Bland and the Lady Mustangs. And for Coach Mathis of the Lewisburg Baptist Lions, Madison Bruce will come in for Leah Comer. A little two-man action going here between Emily Comer and Barclay. As you see there, Comer gets the ball, puts the ball in her right hand, goes up to the layup, and that is good. 2 more points for Comer, 2 more points for this Lions lead. They score 47-27, and Mitchell Bland appears to be going with a few more substitutions here. And she'll take out senior forward Candace Bennett and freshman guard Brooklyn Bland, and will bring in Emily Wilson and senior Savannah Fout. One thing worth noting about Savannah Fout, I want to congratulate her for being crowned Miss MCA earlier before this game started. As you see Megan Beckner there with the missed layup, rebounded by the Lions, and Barclay will push the ball in transition. White will tie the ball up. No, they will call a travel rather, as you see Megan Beckner there helping up Barclay. As Savannah Fout, one Miss MCA, I can't help but mention that Mr. MCA was won by Jacob Ellis. Here's Savannah Fout. She gets the ball, passes it out to Emily Wilson. She pump fakes, gets the ball to Beckner, who lays that shot up and good. Her first field goal of the ball game will come with 3:33 left in the fourth quarter. As this game seems to all but be done, as the Lions are up by 18 now. Here's Barclay. That pass from Bruce. She gets the ball to Comer, or rather make it Honecker, and Beckner will get the rebound and take the ball in transition. She loses control of it, but we'll get the ball back up top. And we'll presumably, I would imagine, be looking to get Emily Wilson to shot. As I say that, Kaylee White will take that floater. It is up, no good, but she's fouled. The 9th team foul on the Lions. The first foul on number 11, Emma Grant, who has just checked into this ball game, and White will take 2 free throws on that shot. Her first free throw is up and good off the back of the rim. It drops right through there for White. And we have another substitution here for Coach Mathis's team. Number 4, Ava Anderson, will check in for Madison Bruce. As White's second free throw is up, no good. Rebounded by number 5, Kendra Honecker, as Beckner almost took it. And she will later try to strip her from behind, but they will call her with a pushing foul. That is 16 fouls on the Lady Mustangs and 3 on Megan Beckner. As now both teams will have free throws the rest of the way. Here's Barclay. She starts to drive, but decides to better of it, and will dribble the ball back up. That ball is on the floor. Beckner dives for it and gets it. Collected by Lamasters, and Kaylee White will dribble it into the Mustang backcourt. Here's Beckner with a good pass there to Lamasters, who lays it up, no good. That is tipped by Fout. It'll go to Wilson. She misses the shot. And Megan Beckner has just picked up her 4th foul of the ball game. As it'll be 1-1 here for Lions. I believe it is number 13, Madison Rowlandson, who will step to the line here for Lewisburg Baptist. It is. And she will have the one-on-one opportunity. Number 12, Anna Toothman will sub in. She will not, my bad. As she stepped on the floor, decided better of it, and walked back to the bench. Here's Rowlandson's free throw, no good. Batted around. It goes to Kaylee White. who gets the ball to Emily Wilson, who will take a layup, no good off the top of the glass. And that ball is deflected out of bounds. It is off the hands of Ava Barkley. And with 2:13 left, the Lady Mustangs are down 17 with the ball here. And now here we go. Kidman will come into the game here as she subbed in for Ava Barkley. A good game for Barkley as she ran point for most of the game. Here is Kaylee White with a wide open jump shot. No good. She'll get her own rebound. Take it up again, but it is blocked by Rollinson. Tracks it down again. And I believe they will call her out of bounds. The ball goes to the Lions. Here's Rollinson. And there is a whistle stop at the play. And then we'll say Megan Beckner got the ball, but was out of bounds once she got it. Here's a fast break opportunity. That shot is no good by Honaker, who missed the bunny. And she will get the ball and set up the offense. That ball is almost stolen by Megan Beckner. And Honaker is blocked by Kaylee White. A jump ball will be called. And the ball will stay with Lewisburg Baptist with 1:50 left. They're still up 17. And now it is just a matter of, for that clock to hit triple zeros for the Lions to get this win. The ball is deflected out of bounds by Beckner. Kaylee White will be checking out of the ball game. Autumn Barker will be taking the place as you see Mitchell Bland is making some more, substitutions here. That ball goes in to number 11, Grant. Gets the ball to Rollinson, who's backing down foul, but he will kick it back out. That ball goes to Keaton. That is Honaker there with the shot. She misses it, but the ball is batted out of bounds by LeMasters, and the ball will stay with the Lions. Kuzman will be the inbounder, she's guarded by LeMasters. The ball goes into Honaker, who misses another bunny. And Kuzman gets the rebound, puts up a jump shot, no good. The rebound there by Honaker, power dribble, misses another bunny. And the rebound is tracked down by number 11, Emma Grant. And here you will see a foul call. That is on Brianna LeMasters. That's her first foul, 18 foul for the Lady Mustangs. And it will now be a 1-and-1 opportunity here for number 4, Ava Anderson. Anderson's first free throw is up in the air. Lots of arc. It is no good on the back of the rim. Rebounded by Savannah Fout. The ball is collected by Megan Beckner. Gets it ahead to Brianna. The score 47-32. 1 minute remaining in this ball game for the Lady Mustangs. As Megan Beckner gets a steal. And they will call blocking foul before she stepped out of bounds. That one is on Rollinson. That'll be her second foul. And Megan Beckner will step to the line for 2 free throws now. As the Lady Mustangs are in the double bonus. With 1:05 left, Beckner will try to get points 4 and 5 here. That first free throw has just been that kind of night. She banks it in. One of those nights where you need everything you possibly can to fall. Second free throw is up and good. That one drops right through to Beckner, and that's 5 points to her from the game. And there you see a turnover by Rollinson. And now with only down 13, the Mustangs have a little bit of a chance left. Number 3, Emily Comer will check back into the game to try to make sure this lead is not, my bad. It'll be number 5, Honaker will check back into the game. Try to make sure this lead doesn't grow too much. Another foul called here. It will be on Honaker, who just checked back in this ball game, her third foul. And Brianna LeMasters will toe the line for 2 free throws. Masters' first free throw is up. And another banked free throw. That one good by LeMasters. And it's now a 12-point deficit here for the Lady Mustangs. A large group substitution coming in here for Coach Mathis's Lewisburg Baptist team. And before Homer, Barkley, and Mathis will check in, there will be a timeout called. I would imagine by the Lewisburg Baptist Lions. And with 1:03 left in this ball game, the Lions lead 47-35 over the MCA Lady Mustangs. And this game isn't quite over, but it's just about there.
Yeah, I mean, when you're both of these teams, you just kind of look for adjustments, to make as your season moves forward. Lewisburg Baptist, you try to fend off this last gasp effort by the Mustangs. And if you're the Mustangs, you kind of work on a quicker up-tempo version of your offense and see what you can do there.
And now, sensing the Lady Mustangs getting a little bit of momentum here, Coach Mathis will bring in his entire starting lineup to try to, ice this game away. Here's Lamasters. He'll go up with his second free throw. Steps into a free throw just like it's on the right side, but it goes in. An 11-point lead now for the Lions. 1 minute remaining. Here's Leah Comer. She dribbles the ball up top. She's guarded by Megan Beckner, who almost gets a steal. And Comer, after getting the ball back, almost turned it over by stepping over the end line. A jump ball will be called. Possession arrow will go to the Lady Mustangs. No, they will say it stays here, my bad, with the Lions. And with 46.8 left, Coach Mitchell Bland and his Lady Mustangs will try to get the ball back. It looks like the scorer's table there was wrong. It actually is the Lady Mustangs' ball after all. And the Lady Mustangs will get the ball back with 46.8. As Coach Mitchell Bland will call another timeout to try to get a quick score here, I would imagine, and then instruct his team on who to foul. The Lions, they have an 11-point lead, but with the momentum that the Lady Mustangs have, do you think this game's over, or do you think this is just a tiny sliver of a chance, Tracy McGrady kind of stuff that can come back?
I was going to say Reggie Miller, but yeah, crazy things have happened.
There's a three. Candace Bennett, no good off the front of the rim. It is rebounded by Emily Comer, who will dribble the ball, and she is fouled. 5 fouls now on Megan Beckner as she will go to the bench. And Emily Comer, the leading scorer in this ball game, will toe the line. I would imagine all she's got to do is make one free throw to, put this game on ice for good, as now Megan Beckner is, gone from this ball game, and the Lady Mustangs are down their only ball handler.
Yeah, and you could think of no better person you want at the line than Emily Comer for this Lewisburg Baptist team. She's been the everything for this team tonight, and she continues to be down the stretch.
There she pump faked the free throw, which is not allowed.
Well, they're just going to have her shoot it again. She was a little confused as to whether or not she was supposed to shoot 2 or 1-and-1. Usually you pump fake a free throw. That's not allowed, but they're going to let her go again.
Here's Comer. Her first free throw is up. No good. Looked like a little bit of karma there for, the pump fake. And as Kara Wolf isn't paying attention, the ball is stripped. And Emily Comer will make up for the pump fake and the missed free throw by laying that ball up and in. It is now a 13-point lead for the Lions, and with 15 seconds left, this game is all but over. Here's Keely White dribbling the ball down low and fires a shot off the side of the backboard. It'll bounce out of bounds. And with 10.3 left, this 13-point lead will be too much for the Lady Mustangs to come back from. And here, I'm not sure what is going on, but Barclay just threw it out of bounds again. I guess to say it's deflected. The Lions to keep it. And here is Leah Comer. So get the ball to Emily Comer, who takes the buzzer beater shot up and good. Not really sure what the point of taking one final shot is when you're up 13, but whatever is good. And now, that is the end of the ball game. The Lewisburg Baptist Lions win by the score of 51-36 as they have a 15-point win over the Lady Mustangs. It was a really disappointing showing here for the Lady Mustangs. The last game in Lewisburg was much closer, the score 52-50. And now for some stats for today. The leading scorer in this game, as everyone who's been listening already knows, is Emily Comer, who would finish with 28 of her team's points. The leading scorer for the Lady Mustangs is Kara Wolf, who finished with 10. Other notable high scorers in this game would be Leah Comer, as she has 10, and the Comers will combine for 38 of their team's points. And Madison Bruce. Madison Bruce is finished with 8. One thing that was really surprising to me was Ava Barkley only had 2 points in this ball game, and it seemed like she took a lot of good looks and made stuff happen. It's surprising to me, I guess, but I guess they didn't need to rely on her scoring today. And now with this game over, you have the varsity boys Mustangs coming out as they're getting ready to start their game. As you see the clock there starting, and they will circle at half court to pray. You can't help but think about tournament implications and what this game could cause. They always say in football, it's hard to beat a team twice in 1 year. Going back to, the NFL playoffs and all that. But it's even harder to beat a team 3 times.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of bright spots for both of these teams, I suppose. Unfortunately, the Mustangs came up short here on homecoming night. But like I said, that's a very dangerous Lewisburg Baptist team. I love the sound of the crowds as both of these teams take the floor. That shows to me that there's going to be a great varsity matchup up next.
And hopefully it is much closer than this last game that we just witnessed. For Luke Wiggs, producer-engineer Caleb Wolf, I'm Kristen Jecklin. We invite you to join us for our next broadcast shortly. We'll have the varsity basketball action for your Lady Mustangs.
Well, the Lady Mustangs fall at home tonight. We'll take a short break, start the next stream. Again, as Christian mentioned, Christian Jecklin on the play-by-play. I'm Luke Wiggs on color. Special thank you to our executive producer, Christopher Knotts, and our producer-engineer, Caleb Wolf. We will see you shortly.